Thank you everyone for coming out. Just a reminder, we did not have a USAC meeting last week in observance for the elections, but I think we are all in semi-good spirits this week considering things did not go alternatively as they could have gone. I guess that's how we can say it. But yeah, let's try to get this show on the road. I know we have some folks in attendance today. Really excited about that. So yeah, let's get started. I call this meeting to order at 7:03 p.m. Awesome. So we can start with approval of the agenda. Does anybody have any amendments to the agenda?
I have a quick question.
Damn. I think my sound might. Can you repeat that?
Oh, I was just gonna ask. So I see that it says written uh officer report next to everyone's name. So can I just say one this week if I'm not gonna write one?
If you want to say one, that's fine. And in the future, you can write them. You can also not write them. It's really up to you all how you all want to go about presenting this. We can even have like a larger conversation about this too, because while written officer reports may be useful, they don't really reach students like social media does. So maybe we can talk about better ways to communicate with the student body if that's where the concern is. How does that sound? Promise?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Any other amendments to the agenda?
Can you strike ARC allocations, please? Thanks.
Can we strike SFS, please?
Can you strike ASRF and TGMA?
Can you strike Bruin advocacy grants?
Can we strike capital contingency, please?
Anyone else?
Question, Sachi, is your appointment here? Oh wait, is Sachi here?
She's coming late.
Oh, right, okay. I don't see Jong. Did we want to still keep his resolution on the agenda?
If he's not here, were there folks who co-sponsored it?
I did see that Bacher was one of the co-sponsors, but I don't remember him updating me that he found a third.
Okay, because if there's no third, then it can't go on the USAC agenda.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just strike it.
Bacher, was there another person who had co-sponsored?
No, I don't think so. I'm not really sure because we haven't talked about the resolution since 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm not really sure about like its situation.
Okay. Okay. Then yeah, we should strike it, but Bacher, I think we should probably talk between like me, you, and Jong, because they've talked a lot about contact tracing within like the response and recovery team. So we should probably like figure out what we're doing there, like what the strategy is before bringing it to USAC.
Yeah, definitely, sure.
Cool. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, if not, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda for tonight.
Okay.
I second.
Emily motions, Bree seconds. IVP?
Yes.
EVP?
Yes.
Gen Rep 1? Oh, Gen Rep 2?
Yes.
Gen Rep 3? don't see Elijah. Okay. AAC,
Yes.
CEC,
Yes.
CAC,
Yes.
CSC,
Yes.
FAC. I don't know if Sachi's here, not here yet. Okay. FSC,
Yes.
SWC,
Yes.
TSR,
Yes.
ISR.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, by a vote of 11 to 0 to 0, the motion passes and the agenda is approved for this week. Awesome. On to approval of the minutes. That was from 2 weeks ago. So if anyone has the date, a motion.
I think it was October 27th. I motion to approve the agenda for October 27th.
I second.
Breeze motions, Alice seconds, IVP.
Abstain.
Okay, EVP.
Abstain.
Okay. Gen 2,
Yes.
AAC,
Yes.
CEC,
Yes.
CAC. Oh, okay. I see premise. Yes. CSC,
Yes.
FSC,
Yes.
SWC,
Yes.
TSR,
Yes.
ISR.
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay. 1, 2. By a vote of 8 to 0 to 3, the vote passes and the minutes from October 27th are approved. Okay, great. Moving on to public comment. Just a reminder, public comment is the opportunity for folks to be able to speak to council on any issues pertinent to them. I also just wanted to remind folks to use gender inclusive language, attack the idea, not the person, and try to keep your public comment limited to about 2 minutes. And Emily will be promoting you all to panelists, right? Okay, yeah, she will. Oh, I should probably call on someone. Mariah? Oh, sorry. I should probably also say, if you want to give public comment, just use the raise hand feature and then you will be promoted to panelists. Mariah, whenever you're ready.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me all right? Okay, great. So I just kind of wanted to drop in and remind each office to send in your respective highlight post by this Friday so that the elections board can move forward with its USAC awareness campaign. Our team has already sent over the master engagement plan and some follow-up emails with the submission folders to your directors a couple weeks ago. But we've extended the deadline because we've only received 7 out of the 15 graphics that we need from each of your offices. And we just wanted to remind the council how important it is for our engagement plan success so that we can coordinate this plan to increase student awareness for each of your offices. I also wanted to thank each of the offices that have already submitted them. We really appreciate your ongoing cooperation with the elections board and working so that we can help the student body get a better understanding of each of your offices' responsibilities and resources, even under these kind of unique circumstances. So we'd really, really appreciate it if you would send in your social media highlights by this Friday at the very latest, because if we don't, it would really make it difficult for our plans to increase USAC engagement this upcoming election cycle. So if you or your staff have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to the elections board at our email. And additionally, as a side note, the elections board is looking to create a virtual event as part of our USAC awareness campaign focused on outreach in the near future. So we're very eager to begin collaborating with USAC overall for this upcoming election cycle. And additionally, we hope to keep an open line of communication with each of your offices. And most importantly, we want to be able to work together to achieve the best outcomes possible for both of us. So we really look forward to hearing from you and receiving your graphics this week. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariah. And on behalf of council, we wanted to thank you also for extending the date. I know some of us were stressed. So thank
Yeah,
you.
it was also election week. So yeah, but we really appreciate it.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Next we have Sharon.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, great. Well, first off, thank you so much for allowing me to speak right now. My name is Sharon, and I am a recent grad from UCLA. If you aren't aware about my situation, pretty much it was the Facebook post regarding Bruin Life and how they per se handled the Senior of the Year award. And I'm more than happy to link that Facebook post here afterwards, after I give my little comment. But pretty much what happened was last week, the past Monday, I attended the communications board with my two sole advisors, Melissa Veluz Abraham and then Ashley Pham, in order to discuss with the communications board about what actions would be taken in regard to student media and then also Bruin Life and their handling of the situation. Long story short, they sided with Bruin Life and said that, again, asking for students to come back to campus during a pandemic for a photo shoot was allowed because it was an editorial decision. And basically the entire meeting, sorry, I'm trying to make this really quick, which is why I'm stuttering about this. The entire meeting was very hostile. And the reason being is they had already made their decision to side with Bruin Life prior to even me getting to that meeting and being able to discuss that with them. And also, okay, thank you, Naomi. And they also have an executive committee within the communications board that decided that Bruin Life's actions were okay prior to letting the rest of communications board know what really went down or all of the information or all of, I guess, like the evidence for like why I was claiming my side and why Bruin Life was claiming their side as well. So when I showed up to that meeting, the rest of communications board, who was not in the executive committee, they weren't aware of what was even going on or what my situation was and why I was bringing up this grievance to communications board and why I was contacting so many administrative entities to try to resolve this. Because the bottom line is it's not the award that matters at this point, and I've already reiterated that in all of my posts, all of my emails, all of my communications with different administrative entities. What matters is the fact that Bruin Life is not considering or not offering grace or compassion in regard to the COVID-19 pandemic. And it's really concerning not to abide by public health guidelines during this time. And so pretty much how it went down was I was pretty much like attacked by some of their student editors. I was called hostile and dishonest and that I was not offering them any alternatives. And their assumption this whole time was that I wanted to be in the yearbook, even though I reiterated to various administration and different supervisors and in my Facebook post that it wasn't about the award and it wasn't about the yearbook. It was about the pandemic. And it's about how as a UCL community, we owe that, for all of our students and for our admin and our faculty too, we owe that reassurance of safety during this time. And that's what I really care about. And they were basically mad that I went public about it because they were saying that I was causing a lot of slander against them. And I think they took that really personally offensive. And then their manager as well, Mr. Jose Hernandez, was also very defensive. And honestly, he was quite rude throughout the entire interaction. And then I had various administrative folks on comms board be quite rude to me as well. For instance, student media director, Ms. Doria Dean, made a comment stating that, and I don't have the direct quote right now because I don't have the minutes, but my sole advisors did take meeting minutes on this. She stated that people don't abide to campus closure anyway, and that folks aren't policing students at UCLA or being on campus. And then another faculty from ASUCLA, his name is Tim Groling. I'm not sure what his position is exactly. He said that people of our age bracket aren't as affected by COVID-19. And these two comments are honestly some of the most appalling things that I've ever heard. And it's really terrifying. And like, although I'm a recent graduate, right, all of you are still students there and you still actively work at UCLA. And this is something to be concerned about, because at the very least, we want our administrative entities to be in agreement about how we want to uphold standards during a pandemic. And the reason why I'm bringing this to USAC is because I think it's important, especially since USAC does play a part in appointing student leaders to the Comms Board Committee. It is key that I think that we bring this up with them, or that a public statement comes out regarding this, because I think they are, I think we need to hold them responsible, especially as students. And like, we want administrative entities to represent us as well. So I think that's pretty much what I want to talk about. And I'm open to any questions for clarification. I'm happy to link my Facebook post. And then the last comment I wanted to make that I forgot is that throughout the entire communications board meeting, it was just those two admin that really spoke to me, Ms. Doria Dean and then Mr. Tim Groling, and then the student editorial folks, Leo and I think Kiara are their names, and then Mr. Jose Hernandez, who is the manager. Everyone else on comms board, such as like other admin or other students that were appointed to comms board, didn't speak during this time. But I also understand, because they didn't even know what was going on, because they weren't briefed on it or something. So yeah. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon, for sharing that. And, we've been in communication about this particular situation, and I'm really glad that you're able to come to council and bring up this situation, not just for yourself, but also for all of the others that are involved and affected. So I feel like I'm going to continue with public comment, but if it's okay with everyone, and maybe we can amend the agenda after, we could make this a discussion item after the funding bodies, if that's okay with everyone. It can be like a mini, okay, so we'll probably amend the agenda then. But I will proceed with public comment. Is there anyone else that's here that wants to give public comment? I think I saw a knock in the chat say.
Naomi.
Oh,
sorry.
Go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt.
I was gonna say I let in all the people who had their hands up for public comment, and when they got let in as a panelist, I think their hands went down immediately.
Oh, okay. If you guys can help me out and just raise your hand again so I could see, that'd be awesome. But I'll move on to knock for now.
Yes, thank you so much, Naomi and Emily. So I'm here to just making public comment on the same issues that Sharon brought up. And I'm here speaking as a friend about what happened. My name is Knock, and I'm here to ask the council, as a representative of UCLA student body, to take necessary and proactive action to making sure demanding accountabilities, and as well as apologies from Bruin Line Conboard for what happened and how they make my friend feel extremely unsafe this past couple months. Like, I've been with Sharon all along, and it's extremely upsetting to see that not only did Bruin Life ask her to risk basically the life of herself and her family to come back to UCLA to take photos, but also put her in extremely unsafe and hostile environment. The fact that Bruin Life disregard the pandemic, disregard the stay-at-home order, and ignore what she was going through. Her family was immune compromised, and she's a low-income student, so she basically has to purchase her own plane ticket to fly back to LA to take her pictures. I don't know how y'all think about that, but I think Bruin Life attitude toward what happened cannot be excused and justify. It's just straight out uncaring and ignorant for me. And not to mention that she then got put in like a meeting with 20 other people, and she was there by herself. The meeting, including the school administrations, asking her questions as if she was doing something wrong, and none of them offer an apology, and she has to justify the reason why she decided to stay home and adhering to the stay-at-home order like everyone else should have been doing, and being forward in the positions that justifying basically why she's like have to take care of her family and she can't move back to LA. I think extremely uncaring to put any student in that situation. And if this is what UCLA is about, what COMBOARD is about, what USAC is about, then maybe we should evaluate what kind of culture we're creating in these institutions, right? And definitely what kind of message we are sending to the rest of the community, especially in this pandemic. Are we saying that USAC, Broomlight, COMBOARD, and UCLA especially is incapable of taking care of their own student amid the pandemic? And I'm sure none of us and none of y'all have been doing such a great job with taking care of student. I'm sure none of y'all want to like pass that message. And so I don't know, I'm just here to make that comment, and I'm sincerely hope that through this, what happened, USAC will actually take step to talking about her concern. And I hope that COMBOARD, Bruin Live, and if y'all are here, and school administration, especially whoever in that meeting, to make like apologies to Sharon and take proper step to make sure that nothing like this will happen again. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Knock. Okay, Jason?
Hi, everyone, and thank you, Naomi. Oh, sorry about the echo. Just wanted to also give public comment on the same topic that have Sharon brought up. So again, my name is Jason. My pronouns are he and his. I'm a fourth-year student at UCLA, and I'm also the president of the Vietnamese Student Union. And I'm also a friend of Sharon's, and also someone who's really benefited from her mentorship and guidance. I think for me, the fact that Bruin Life was unable to be accommodating, especially in the time of a pandemic, speaks to kind of a big concern of like, when the rest of the campus is closing, why are they like kind of going around the rules and also making students risk their own lives, especially when we have a real public health crisis. I frankly think that it's really uncaring, and that I'm here with Sharon, with all of my fellow students, to ask that we have some accountability, because I feel like hasn't been enough action taken in response to kind of their, not only the way that they handled it in the beginning, but even now as they like kind of engage in kind of behaviors that really invalidate the real concerns that my friend Sharon has. I think that it's just like we need to evaluate, especially as positions that have, as a board that has positions appointed by council, we really need to have a serious talk about what their role is in terms of our campus and what culture they're trying to bring. Overall, I don't want to take up too much time because Sharon and Knock already said plenty, but I really stand by Sharon in asking for accountability and for real compassion, especially in this time of pandemic, especially for communities of color and low-income marginalized communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. And I also wanted to note something that was in the chat. I'll read it out since Amy wasn't able to put it here. Hi, everyone. I am not home right now, and my phone is almost out of battery, so I won't be able to stick around, but I'd like to leave my comment here. My name is Amy Ho, and I'm a fourth-year student at UCLA, as well as the Internal Assistant Director for the Asian Pacific Coalition. I am 1,000% behind Sharon and think that how Bruin Life and the Communications Board handled the situation. They completely disregarded COVID-19 safety precautions and the financial ability of a student to just drop everything and travel from NorCal to LA. In a year when we are all trying our best to navigate an unprecedented pandemic, they showed no concern nor leniency for Sharon, who rightfully earned the award. UCLA and the Comms Board need to do better if we expect our student body to adhere to public safety standards and the values that we claim to uphold as a school. Thank you, Amy. And next we have Nick.
Yeah, hi everyone. Let me lower my hand. Hi, my name is Nick. I use he, him, his pronouns. I was the campaign coordinator for CalPERG's New Voters Project this quarter. I also serve as a member at large for our chapter and as the board chair for our statewide organization. I know that some of us have mixed feelings about the election, so I wanted to share something that I think we can all agree is good news. Youth voter turnout is up. Youth voter turnout increased by 5 to 10% since the last election. So young people are making our voices heard. And we were a big part of making that happen. Nationally, the student perks helped almost 30,000 students register to vote and made close to 400,000 get out the vote contacts to help students turn out. And here at UCLA, the Bruins Vote Coalition helped 1,000 students register and made over 2,000 get out the vote contacts. So I want to thank you all for your help with this, but especially Arden, Aiden, and the EVP's office for co-leading the coalition with us. We all worked really hard and couldn't have made such a big difference by ourselves. So thank you.
Thank you. Dylan?
Hey, yeah, thanks for calling on me. I couldn't figure out how to raise my hand, so that was fun. But yeah, my name's Dylan. I'm the vice chair from CalPERG's UCLA chapter. As Nick mentioned, we've been really busy with MVP, and we're also really happy with the work that we did and turning out so many students to vote. But I wanted to go over a couple of our chapter highlights from the quarter. So first off, we currently have 115 people involved because we ran a really successful recruitment drive. We got 120 people to show up to our first meeting, our kickoff meeting. So that was also really cool. And then 2 weeks ago, we wrapped up our pledge drive where we gathered over 460 new pledging members here at UCLA. And then last week, we finished up our Get Out the Vote work. However, we know that the work towards a better future really isn't over, and we're now launching our campaigns with a stronger chapter than ever. So our 3 campaigns that we're going to be launching are 100% renewable energy sector-wide here at UCLA, addressing hunger and homelessness, as well as providing COVID relief, and our affordable textbooks campaign to create a grant-funded program across the UC system. So we're really looking forward to working with all of you, and please let us know if there's any way that we can help out with your guys' your efforts on campus as well. Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you, Dylan. Awesome. Okay, Angela?
Hi, so I, like Dylan, also couldn't figure out how to raise my hand, but just want to go back to the topic of Sharon. Oh, sorry, my name is Angela. I'm a 4th year. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm also the director of the Asian Pacific Coalition and the vice chair of the Campus Retention Committee. I think Sharon's adherence to the COVID-19 measures is even more indicative of her leadership and her values. And as her successor and as also the current director of the Asian Pacific Coalition, we stand 100% behind her. The Asian Pacific Coalition has and will continue to uphold COVID-19 guidelines because as student leaders on campus, we want to set the right example for how we should conduct ourselves, especially during a time like COVID. And for the Common Board and administration to encourage disregarding COVID-19 guidelines, it's so cold in my room. It delegitimizes any efforts and statements that UCLA has made about COVID. So I hope we can hold them accountable. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Anyone else that would like to give public comment? Going once, going twice. Okay, we are concluding public comment. Ooh, I'm just gonna read this last public comment. Okay. My name is Christy May, and as the external vice president of the Vietnamese Student Union, I stand by Sharon. I ask that USAC take action against Bruin Life, especially when we are in a pandemic and low-income students should not be expected to attend a photo shoot just to receive an award. Sharon deserves better, and Bruin Life has been highly insensitive. And my apologies, Christy's last name is pronounced Mai. Cool. Okay. So if there's no one else that would like to give public comment, I am concluding public comment at 7:31 p.m. Thank you to everyone that participated. I wanted to ask Jessica or any of the administrators, does someone have to motion to amend the agenda, or can we just like add a discussion item?
You should be able to just add it because it's not an action item.
Okay.
So that should be okay.
Okay, cool. So we'll add it then after the funding bodies. Moving on to contingency.
Hi, everyone. So this week we had, I think, 10 applications, and the total amount requested was $3,412.55. The total amount recommended was $1,926.55. And these are to non-USAC entities. And also we had 9 applications, not 10.
Thanks, Emily.
Thanks, guys.
Would anyone like to motion? Y'all, would anyone like to motion?
I motion to
motion-
approve
oh,
an
go ahead.
allocation of $1,926.55 to non-USAC entities.
I second.
Emily motions, Jonathan seconds. IVP,
Yes.
EVP, EVP. Okay, I'll come back. Gen Rep 2. Oh, okay. Gen Rep 2.
Yes.
Gen Rep 3.
Yes.
AAC,
Yes.
CEC,
Yes.
CAC,
Yes.
CSC,
Yes.
cool. FSC,
Yes.
SWC,
Yes.
TSR,
Yes.
ISR.
Yes.
Cool. By a vote of 12 to 0 to 0, the motion passes and the contingency allocations are approved. Great. Moving on to SWC programming fund allocations.
Okay, this week there was $350 requested and then $300 allocated towards Globe Med for a Globe Med walkathon.
Cool. Does anyone have any opposition to these allocations? Okay, if not, then they are approved for this week. Thank you, Christina. Moving on to TJF. I know Sachi isn't here, but Jessica, do you want to report anything on Sachi's behalf?
I don't have the numbers in front of me, so maybe we can just either she can do it when she's back, or we'll just save them for next week since it's more of a just an update report.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So that concludes our funding bodies for this week. Moving on to our discussion item about Bruin Life. I think that the issues that were brought up by Sharon and the other folks that got to speak tonight are really important. Sharon had messaged me, I want to say like a month and a half ago, maybe even earlier, about the situation. I had confused it with This is Bruin Life. I realized that those are two like very separate things. And I wanted to note that it was really concerning to hear that there were student groups that were basically telling other students to come back, even though the campus is closed. And as many of us who are sitting here on this call right now sit in these other meetings, and we know that the campus is closed. We know that Westwood's numbers are increasing. And Sharon had asked me to write a letter, but I felt that it would be more appropriate coming from all of USAC, especially because we have had some concerns with ComBoard given their like diversity issues. And I think that this kind of plays into that, if you ask me. So yeah, I kind of wanted to just hear council members' thoughts about writing a letter about other ways to take action to make sure that we're holding folks accountable. We made several appointments there, and I think that it maybe is also right to bring them into council because they are, I would say, accountable to us as people who appointed them. So just wanted to hear people's thoughts. And if anyone has any questions, I think Sharon is still here and can answer any.
That's a question.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, you can go, Breeze.
Okay, we can go Christina, then Breeze.
I just have a question. So just to clarify, Bruin Life is like a student media group that's underneath, like, and then ComBoard oversees them. And then the reason that admin was involved in it is because the admin in ComBoard, like once it was escalated up there, sided with Bruin Life. Is that correct?
From my understanding, I would say that that is correct. Sharon, do you have a different understanding of that?
No, I think, yeah, that's pretty much it. What you said is accurate. And it wasn't, I guess, I mean, it's hard to say, right? I don't know if the student leaders in comms board had a say in like their final decision, because as I was informed at that meeting, the executive board made the decision the week prior. And then whoever else, like other admin and other students who were not on that executive group at that meeting I attended, they weren't really briefed on the situation. So I'm really not sure there.
Okay. Breeze?
Yeah, I mean, any support that we can give, I think is very essential. I know like when Comms Board did come in, we did have those issues with them and, especially for BIPOC low income students, like taking a trip and like just leaving everything is like, first of all, it's not safe to go on any trip right now, period. Second of all, thinking about like money situations and then just dropping any responsibilities you might have at home, like I just, it's something that many students can't do at this time. So if there's any way like we can support Sharon, I don't know if there's also another way that we can hold the admin accountable, the ones that, she reached out to. I don't know if like y'all know how we can get connected to them and maybe bring them in as well to talk to them because, it sounds like they did like a lot of gaslighting in my opinion. And like that, they shouldn't have done that to her, especially having a room full of people who like don't even want to hear her side. So.
Thank you, Breeze. Before I call on the next person, I wanted to hear from like admin who have like worked with Comboard before on like, I guess maybe just your thoughts or just like how that process usually happens where like administrators get involved. Because that doesn't seem to be something that like happens in this space, but I'm not sure if it's different in other spaces.
Naomi, this is Josh. I have to apologize. I have not worked with Comms Board, so I cannot speak to this matter. I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
And I can give a little bit of insight, but again, I don't work directly with Comboard. This is Patty. So similar to USAC and GSA and our ASUCA Services and Enterprises, there are various boards that oversee those divisions. So Comboard is essentially the board that oversees all the different publications from the Daily Bruin to Bruin Life, all the various other publications, the magazines throughout, I believe there's 13 plus of those as well. And so they go over the budgeting, the editors in chief, and then they have a board that meets to discuss various issues regarding, usually it's fiscal matters. So and like that, there's student representation, staff representation, including administrators that help support the operations of the board. I haven't personally been to a Comboard meeting, but that's essentially the makeup of it, similar to you all having your separate boards and entities. That's the Comboard for the student media portion of the ASU Silly branch.
Thank you, Patty. Okay, Zuleika?
Yeah, I completely agree with Breeze and Christina. I think this is also a larger issue where what's the point of having student representatives if executive board is not going to communicate with them and have them be aware of the situation before they have meetings like this? I think that we should also not only have Comboard come in, but I think we should have Bruin Life come in if that's possible so that they can also explain themselves. But also going to like what Bakor is saying, in terms of like the sole advisor, sorry, I was reading it really quick. Just to get some clarification as well, but I completely agree. I think that this was also gaslighting. It's not okay to put students in these dangerous situations, especially when campus is closed because there is a pandemic. So I think if we can get more information, but also like what are ways where we can hold admin accountable, because they're not communicating with the students that we appointed, and they're not allowing for other other representatives to speak up also to defend Sharon. So
Thank you, Zuleika. So we'll go Bacher and then Emily.
Yeah, I think I'm just like a quick note on what I said in the chat. Basically, since we'll be like maybe writing a letter, and possibly like bringing those admins. I'm not sure like what we're gonna do, but like if that happens, I think we will need as much information as we can so that um there's like no room for them to basically claim other things or anything. And yeah, like having the sole advisors who were in the meeting would be maybe like an add-on. So like it's not like one person against like 20 or whatever like number. It's like three people, and this is what they're saying, and so they cannot really claim that um, there's like that we're exaggerating or anything. So yeah.
Thank you, Bacher. Emily?
Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate that I think it's really imperative that we stand behind Sharon on this. Sharon is a mentor to many of my mentors, and she's an amazing student leader. And I don't think that the situation is fair and equitable at all. And I also personally think it's ridiculous that people would even ask people to come back like for a photo for aesthetic purposes during these times. Like you all just saw the push notification we all got from LA, right? They're literally pushing notifications to our phone telling us that COVID cases are rising, and telling us that we need to be staying safe. And like as a student group, we are held to like a code of conduct. We're not supposed to be having in-person gatherings. We're not supposed to be going on campus. And I don't understand at all like the justification for having this occur. And I think that this has gone on way too long, that this is unacceptable, and that something needs to happen. I would be interested on how we think we can hold the administrators accountable, because listening to Sharon, it sounds like they were the ones that, perpetuated this and made this decision rather than our student appointments.
Thank you, Emily. And I don't know who knows where we can get ComBoard meeting minutes, but that would also be helpful too for the purposes of the letter. I had mentioned to a few folks that it could be possible for us to bring it to the compliance task force under the response and recovery team, because this is an issue that we have been talking about a lot. And it's actually, I think it's really like pertinent right now, given like the situation in LA. Even though this happened a while back, it's still really important. So I think that that is something that I can send to the chair of the task force, which is Mick DeLuca. So, and we can bring it up as a discussion item there, if folks are interested in that. Sharon, what do you think about that?
Hey everyone, sorry my internet died. I actually just missed the entire last part, so I'm so sorry, Naomi. Do you mind repeating that?
Yeah, I was saying it's okay that we could bring it to the compliance task force, which is a task force under the larger response and recovery task force, that administrators serve on. Compliance has been an issue and something that admin really wants to make sure that students are like adhering to. And I think that this is an issue that we want to bring up to make sure that these folks are held accountable. And to also make sure that they don't do it again. So that could also be a route, in addition to the letter.
Oh yeah, I'm comfortable with that.
Okay. Cool. Did anybody else want to give any comments? Okay. If not, then I think we're good on this topic. I guess I would just ask, does anyone like want to take lead on the letter? Do you all want, I have written comms directors that can work on this. Do you all want that to be the process? How do you all want to go about splitting the workload?
I mean, I'm not happy to assist in any capacity that, you know, y'all need. I don't know. Um,
Yeah, I'm also happy to help lead on this. I don't know if I have the capacity to like completely lead on it, but I will be definitely like trying to take a pretty big role.
Yeah, I can volunteer and help. I'm not too much of an expert on the compliance committee and the campus-based decision making, but happy to help take lead if that's helpful.
Yeah, I'm also, well, I more have capacity to help support in some way. Probably not taking lead, but yeah, down to help.
Okay, okay. So great. Then we can probably form like a separate group chat. I just wanted to. Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, maybe we can make a separate group chat with everyone who like wants to help and then go from there. I can handle like the compliance task force because that's one that I currently serve on. So I can lead that with Sharon. Sharon, I'll probably just need your help with like framing because I understand the situation pretty well, but if there's like specific wording that you want me to use with sharing your story, you can let me know. I can also just use your Facebook post too. Okay. Okay then. Great. Thanks everyone for engaging in that really important conversation. Moving on to our next item on the agenda, we have the A Seat at the Table initiative, and Michaela is going to be our presenter.
Hello, I'm a campus ambassador for Gift of Life here at UCLA. So Gift of Life is basically a bone marrow and stem cell registry. So we're currently working to expand and diversify the registry because for different minorities, it's very difficult for people to find a match for bone marrow and stem cell transplant. So we're currently just trying to get the word out about that. So if USAC can do anything to help spread the word or send out emails or help promote flyers that we're doing, that would be great. I think that's about it. And thank you for letting me.
Of course. Does anybody have any questions for Michaela? Oh, Michaela, I think your sound was a little muffled. Do you want to repeat like the organization that you're part of and what they work on?
Yeah, of course. Sorry, the Wi-Fi connection is very bad here. So I'm a part of Gift of Life. It's a bone marrow and stem cell registry. So we're currently working to expand and diversify the registry to help make it easier for people to find a match for them. So what we need help from right now is just getting the word out about it because it's very difficult to try and meet and present with clubs since everything's been virtual because of COVID. So if USAC could help promote all of our like posters and stuff and or help us like promote on social media, that would be great. But basically we're just trying to expand the registry to help make more people be able to find a match easier.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Michaela?
Michaela, do you want to drop your social medias in the chat for the org?
Awesome. Michaela, do you have any questions for us?
If I was to send something, do you have like an email where I could like send something, or do you just repost things on Instagram? How do you normally help promote things?
Y'all remind me, it's USA Council at asucla.edu.ucla.edu. Okay. Yep. That if you email that, it'll go to every single one of our offices. And that's like the quickest way to get in contact with all of us. And you have to include, yeah, that second email because our Gen Rep 2 doesn't get included in the chats for some reason.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming out and staying. Cool. Okay, awesome. Oh, Michaela, before you leave, I also just wanted to say you can always message the UCLA President's page. You can also use my directors to get in contact with our publicity team to share it on our page. That's how we usually do like different shout outs. And then I also wanted to mention our USAC Congressional Advisory Board could also be a good place to present this to too, because they also serve historically underrepresented communities that might find this beneficial. So that could also be a good space. But if you ask our directors, they should know about those resources.
Okay, perfect. Definitely will do that.
Awesome. Thank you for coming out again. Cool. Okay. So Sachi's not here, and we don't have any appointments for this week. So now we're just moving on to officer reports. Give me 1 second just to make sure. Okay, I wanted to make sure that I had what we've been working on. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight that these past 2 weeks have been very COVID filled, as you all know. The administration and specifically the response and recovery team was really worried about the Halloween spikes. We are kind of still seeing the effects of Halloween, and we really won't fully see them probably until the coming weeks. We're very concerned about Thanksgiving as well, and we're strategizing around messaging that's going to go out to students. We're hoping that with LA County's new, I wouldn't say like lockdown, but like crackdown on the COVID response, that we can see good things. As you all know, we've also been working in making sure that our voices are represented on the larger task forces as well. We have game planned around everything, including testing to election response, because that also has an impact on COVID too. And we've shared a lot of like the details or like the larger topics about what's going on in those meetings on the UCLA President's page through our Notes from Naomi series, which has been going really well. So I've been sharing a lot of information through there. I also had the opportunity to present the social prod proposal once again to the response and recovery team, and also to the infection control working group, because LA County is looking at social pods possibly once things start to look a little bit better, as a way to mitigate the spread of COVID, because as you all know, like people are already potting up, but they just don't have proper guidance on how to do that, and it's not officially recommended by LA County. So we want to make sure that that is in the process of happening. Other than that, I wanted to say we got to launch our first ever USAC Congressional Advisory Board meeting. It was really awesome. Thank you to the offices that showed up. I think there were about 15 organizations. Everyone was really engaged. We went over committees, which we're still going to be forming, and my team is still doing a lot of outreach to make sure that the board is as, I guess, diverse and inclusive as we want it to be, like truly, not just like in like the infographic sense, but just making sure that we have that representation on there. So if y'all know of any organizations that are still wanting to participate, please forward them to our team. That'd be really great. I also wanted to shout out Emily and Aiden's office for also being really big thought partners in this and for helping get lots of folks on board. So that's been awesome. We had an enrollment planning meeting which was just the enrollment office and Vice Provost Yolanda Copeland Morgan just going over different numbers, kind of seeing like, was there any drop off because of COVID, which hasn't been like too obvious. They've also talked about how our yields, like the diversity within our yields, have also increased slightly, not dramatically, but they are going up. I think they said that the African American population went up by, I think, a few, I want to say like percentage points, not like significant. I wish I had solid numbers for you all, but we're also trying to include that on Notes for Naomi. But other than that, I would just say we're doing a lot of check-ins with our team, making sure that each of our platforms are completing, and if they need any other support, we're providing that in this time. That's it for me. I will move on to IVP.
Hi everyone. So I have appointed my assistant internal vice president to the commuter committee. So she met with them last week. And then my AIVP and I also met with Karen Monero from the Dean of Students office. So if y'all don't know, the True Bruin Rays Scholarship is a joint collaboration between the Dean of Students office and the IVP office in order to award a little bit of money in recognition for Bruins who help other Bruins in crisis. So we're trying to find a source of funding for that this year, as well as nailing down some of the logistics. In terms of my platforms, my Put Workers First Committee is working with the UCLA Labor Center and the Workers and Learners Project to hold the Workers and Learners Summit on November 18th at 5 p.m. It's going to be super fun. It's like a combination of research and community building and activities and stuff like that. So I really recommend that y'all come out if you can. My Drive Down Rent directors have released and are promoting the Housing Relief Resource Guide, as well as continuing to meet with Spark to set up our campaign for the rent grant crowdfunding. My Revamped Advocacy Partnerships Committee is supporting eBoard with election engagement with student organizations, and they also collaborated with my outreach committee to send out a club feedback form and got a good amount of responses. So they're working on that. In terms of in terms of some events that are also coming up, the ASUCLA Face Covering Design Contest applications closed, and the designs are now up on ASUCLA's Instagram story if y'all want to go check out all the designs that people submitted and vote on them. We are collaborating with the Transfer Student Reps office on Thursday, the 19th from 6 to 7 p.m. And it's an event on how to ace your next interview. So it's geared toward transfers, but I think it's open to everyone. So yes. And then last thing is that they're also holding an event with admin on Tuesday, the 24th. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Aiden?
Yeah, very busy going up into the election
Aiden, your
season
sound's a little muffled.
Oh, is it a bit muffled? Sorry, I'm having audio issues. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hello?
Okay, there we go.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, no, post-election, we were active with the USAC post-election task force, building in resiliency and working with other offices to collaborate on mental health resources for students protesting, and then resources to provide concrete and effective information to the student body in the days after the election and in that kind of tumultuous season. Other things that we've been working on, our advocacy teams are gearing up for the shift from our election priorities to our advocacy priorities as the local, state, and federal governments return into session in January. I'll have a more substantive update on what those priorities will look like in late November. And then for me personally, I'll be traveling up to Sacramento on Thursday to testify before the Assembly Higher Education Committee on key student priorities during the time of COVID-19. And our office, in partnership with the Transfer Students Representatives Office, will be hosting a anti-Blackness training for USAC on Thursday evening. I sent out the details to council, and I encourage you and your staffs to attend because it'll be hosted by a really incredible speaker and training organizer, Stali Muhammad with the UC Student Association. But with that, those are all my updates.
Thank you, Aiden. And also, really big shout out to you and Zuleika for putting that on. Sally is amazing. So I encourage everyone to show up for that. Awesome. And also, you can never not be like a better ally. So like y'all should really show up. But okay. Next we have AAC. I think.
Everyone, yeah. So we've been sending out books for Bruins. A lot of people are finalizing their numbers. So we're just kind of collecting that and collecting receipts that we needed to collect from students for like books if they have them. Last week we had our AAC healing space with like multiple orgs. And like so appreciative of those of y'all who like collaborated with us. It was really nice. And then next Tuesday, we're going to be having an event with the Career Center and kind of career planning for students, especially for first years entering the university. And November 19th at 4:30 p.m., we're looking into having a sexual assault workshop with CARE. We released our virtual wellness guide by Sanctuary Campus. And we're looking into releasing our Academic Senate one pretty soon to kind of go over logistics and explain academic recommendations. Myself within UGC, FEC spaces, and executive board, I've been kind of just working on like what language I'm going to make for next quarter in terms of like asking for like academic, I guess not leniency, but I guess kindness or whatever it is that they said. And kind of just seeing hopefully that, you know, pass no pass can be extended. Empathy, yeah, exactly. And lastly, what was the last thing I was gonna say? Oh, I just wanted to give a big shout out to like Bakur for connecting me with Armenian Student Association. He like let me know that like they will be, oh, there's a few things I need to go over for UGC and executive board. Bakur like connected me with the Armenian Student Association, and thanks to that, they're going to have an opportunity to speak next week at the UGC Council regarding what can be done for Armenian students. And yeah, okay, I didn't know that. Well, shout out to Sachi too. And another discussion that's been going on in UGC, and like I'm really thankful for this because I think that this is something like we've been talking a lot about with like Eileen and Megan, but the idea of bringing in student representatives from like underrepresented communities at UCLA. So like I recommended that they reach out to other orgs and like listed a few other organizations that they should reach out to. And they're really trying to like bring in those students, if not next meeting, the meeting after. So I've been working with them to kind of arrange for which students they need to do outreach to in order to make sure that they want to like center student voices and like anti-racist training. And like I've had a bit of difficulty discussing this because I'm like, well, you don't want to bring in the students that like to like teach you on this. But like kind of just reminding them of how they should go about it. So it's been a lot of discussions along that. And I think kind of I wanted to ask Naomi too, I don't know your opinion, in terms of like if CAP should be a part of this. Like I feel like there's a lot of good connections there. So if you could connect me to that, like I don't know if that's possible or if you're okay with that, but yeah. I think that was it. Yeah, I think that's it for me.
Thank you, Breeze. And I just wanted to say, of course, CAB, I hope you all know, is a resource for everyone. We're trying to make the communication a lot more smoother so that way you all don't have to like contact each org individually. You can just contact like the operations team and they can do that for you. But of course. Awesome. And I know I skipped over Elijah on accident. Go ahead, Gen Rep 3.
Thank you, Naomi. Hello, everyone. There's a few things that I wanted to highlight that our office has been doing for the last few weeks. We've been able to meet with Swipe Out Hunger to discuss possible reforms and new ideas on how to improve meal plan sharing. We've met with AAC, FAC, and the Disabled Student Union to discuss goals and possible routes of increasing accessibility in online in online classes. Myself, along with members of the athletic community, have been able to meet with Dr. Monroe Gordon as well as Dean Blandisi to discuss issues related to COVID in athletics, as well as meeting with CPO to discuss issues related to resources provided to the UCLA community and trying to understand what our office can do to support that as well.
Thank you, Elijah. Awesome. Okay. Was there anyone that I have missed that wants to give an oral report? I don't think I have. Okay. If not, Jessica?
No updates from me, thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Jessica. Dr. Geller, if you're still on here. She is.
Yeah, I'm here. No updates for me either this week.
Okay, great. Josh?
No updates for me, but I will say happy Veterans Day and thank you to all of our student vets at UCLA for your service.
Thank you.
And today is Josh's birthday.
Is it now? Okay, we'll sing happy birthday after this meeting is over.
Not necessary, but thank you.
It is necessary. Okay. Fernando? I always call on you. Oh my gosh. Patty?
Hi everyone. No major updates. We do have our weekly programming continuing. So we have a game night tomorrow night, and then next week we're excited to do a cooking and crafts. So we have a new video up on our virtual website with a cooking demonstration from our chef at ASUCLA, and then we're going to have a little live competition and crafting night next Wednesday. So should be fun. Keep an eye out for it.
Thank you. Okay. If there is nothing else that anyone wants to bring up, I'm actually shocked because that's the end of the agenda. But I guess that's good. Okay, so yeah, I'll be ending this meeting at 8:10 p.m.
The recording has stopped.
Everybody has to unmute. Come